contract has just taken place. That's what buyu is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has permitted buyu in the Quran by saying that يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ إِلَّا أَن تَكُونَ تِجَارَةً عَنْ تَرَادٍ مِنْكُمْ. So all you who believe, do not eat your wealth up in haram, except if it be a buying and selling contract, a commerce trade, a trade that you have that you want to do. An taradi minkum, that it is from your consent. So, if we have any exchange of commodities, whether it be in that example that I gave, when I gave Salim 10 pounds and he gave me back 5 pound, then that would be a sale. So I would have sold my $10, 10 pounds for his 5 pound. Or I would have sold my 1 pound of note for his 2 pounds, two notes of 5 pounds each, for example. That is a sale in Islam. And because it is a sale in Islam, and we don't even think about it, right? We don't even think when we do it that this is actually a sale. But Islam considers it to be a sale. Now, the way this, the study of buying and selling or commerce works in Islam is that you learn about those sort of dealings which are haram. So you learn about those sorts of dealings which are haram. You don't learn which are halal. No, you learn that which is haram so that you know what is halal. Because that which is haram is less and limited in number, and that which is halal is more and greater in number. So as long as you know what is haram, this is why the whole lesson today will be all about haram dealings, that which is haram, so that everything else will be halal. Alright? So this is the way to really understand it. Right? Next point is prevention of oppression. The next important qaida that the Sharia tries to emphasize in all its rulings in business is that the Sharia tries to prevent oppression. This is why the Sharia, for example, prohibits ribah. Why? Because ribah is the pinnacle of oppression in business. The guy is just sitting in his house, he's giving you 10,000 pounds and he wants 20,000 back after a month. That's ribah. And he is not doing anything. All he's done is just given the money. He hasn't given you a service, he hasn't given you an extra commodity. He wants that extra 10,000 for nothing. That's dhulm. That is dhulm. Right. The next qaida that the Sharia tries to emphasize in all of its rulings is that it tries to prevent conflicts and disputes, arguments between people, arguments between two people who have made a business dealing. So it tries to prevent arguments. This is actually very important to realize. The Sharia really doesn't want you to argue. This is why, for example, Sharia will not allow you, for example, to sell that which is not yours. Or the Sharia will not allow you, for example, to sell that which is not known. For example, a bag. You have a show bag. You guys seen show bags? You don't have show bags? Okay, show bags. All right. Okay, you guys have shows here in this country? What we mean by shows in Australia is, like these amusement parks. Those, we have rides and all of that, right? You have this in country here? Okay. When you go there, you get to buy these things called mystery bags. Yeah? Mystery bag is £5 and you get everything in this bag. And there's probably some chocolates in there, some toys. Obviously, it's not going to have diamonds or anything. But, it'll have these sort of things. Now, mystery bags are not permitted in Islam. Okay? This contract is haram. It is not permitted to sell mystery bags like this. It is just like saying, okay, Brother Salim, I've got something in my pocket and I'll give it to you for £5. I might have diamonds, I might have gold, I might have just a dirty tissue, but whatever, right? So do you want it? This is the risk you're going to take, Salim. Do you want it or not? This sort of transaction is haram in Islam. Why? Because he doesn't know what he's getting, and because if I end up giving him something less, if I end up giving him something less than the £5 worth, then he's going to be angry and he's going to have arguments with me. And so Sharia prevents this sort of contract because it doesn't want us to argue. Right? So these three principles that I just mentioned to you will be reflected in every single hukum of Sharia in business that we go through. You will see them. But why is Sharia stopping this? Why is Sharia saying this is haram, that is halal, that is haram? Why? Because it wants to prevent us from arguing, because it wants to prevent oppression. Right? Buyu has pillars, just like every single thing regarding in Islam. Every single ibadah in Islam has pillars. So buying and selling as well has pillars upon which it is built upon. Pillars of buyu are four. The first being the buyer, the person who buys, and the second being the seller, the person who sells. The third being the product, and the exchange that you get for it, meaning the compensation you get for it. So it might be, for example, the laptop for the money, the money for the water, for example. And the fourth being the act of selling itself. So the act of selling itself might be one of three things. It might be the wording, so you might just buy and sell just by word. I'll sell it to you. You want to buy it? Yes, I'll buy it. That's it. Contract, deal, done. Okay? So the act of the word itself is a sale. Or it might be the silent transaction, which is called mu'atat in Arabic. You know, the ata. Basically that you go to the market, for example, or go to the local milk bar, and then you just throw the £10 at him, and he just gives you the product, and you go away. Right? Here we haven't even said a single word. We have just given him the money, and I've just taken the product from him, and then we just part and we go our ways. So this is another way in which Sharia allows buyu to take place. The next point being the sorts of businesses that take place regarding today, such as, for example, with the click of a button, for example. You can just buy something on the internet, or for example, press 1 to buy and press 2 to not buy. On a phone, for example, you're buying something on the phone, or for example through SMS or fax or whatever. And of course, there is a fatwa from the World Fiqh Council, which is the council set up by the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Countries, and their fatwa and their hukum was that by ijma', these sort of transactions are halal, and that a business that takes place by a click of a button from the computer or from the internet or from the phone or from the fax or from the mobile or from etc. are all halal, are all halal and proper business transactions. This council that I just told you about, this World Fiqh Council, it is a council that's been set up of all the major fuqaha in our time, the major scholars of fiqh in our time. They come together at certain times of the year, and they discuss all the major topics that are out there at the moment, such as cloning, such as marriage between two people with AIDS, etc. The most up-to-date problems of fiqh that we have today, and they discuss it, and they have people that are specialized in every single field. So they have people that are specialized in business, giving talks there as well, and doctors who also specialize in medicine, etc. The most respected people in their fields, and they listen to what they have to say, and then they discuss it amongst themselves. They don't just discuss it just by sitting around the table and say, hey guys, okay, what's up, and what do you think? No, they write articles, they write research reports for every single topic, and then they distribute them amongst all the rest of the ulama, and they read it, and then they come and they argue it out, and they try and convince each other, and only after they've convinced each other upon a point, then they issue their verdict.